I love to say that I'm enough. And I think that that encompasses so much, especially in this day and time where women feel like, I have to be like the woman in the movies or someone else, but I'm confident in who I am. I'm that girl because I'm not who I used to be. That's enough for me.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another conversation that we're having today based on our theme, I'm That Girl. And listen, I'm super excited to have Robin Wilson with me here today. Robin is a part of our Good Girl community. And if you have been watching some of our previous devotionals, you would have become very familiar with her face. So, Robin, welcome.
Thank you so much, Alani. I am so glad to be here today.
All right, so we are talking about I'm That Girl, a theme that is based truly in identity and us being able to understand the core of who we are. Who are we in between our wins, right? We could have the high of our successes and we feel great, and that leads us to actually say, "Yep, I'm that girl." But there are those times, right, Robin, where we don't have too much going on and we kind of question if we are actually that girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I'm that girl is such an impactful statement is because we also use it as a term to push back against stereotypes when it comes on to women. And I wanted to get into that with you a little bit today. And before I do, though, I want to ask you, when you hear someone say, a woman say, I'm that girl, what is it that you think she's saying?
Of course. I love the question because I think it's very important for this day and time. So for me, when I think of I'm that girl, I think of a woman, me saying that I'm confident, I'm bold, I'm courageous, that I have my life together, that I'm balanced, that I'm focused in my career, in my personal life. It's just like a word of affirmation to myself, self-affirmation to say, you know what, I'm that girl. I have my life together and I'm successful in this season that I'm currently in.
Perfect. I love that answer, Robin. It's great answer. But let's transition to the question that I really wanted to ask you, which is, what's one popular stereotype about women that you absolutely hate?
Well, for me, when I think about a stereotype that women are typically put into, it's definitely the one where women are supposed to just be in the house, that we're not supposed to be career focused, that we're not equal among the masses, that we're not supposed to be equal. That really digs deep for me. And so I'm glad that we're talking about this today because people need to hear this. People need to hear the truth on how women feel when it comes to equality.
Mhm. And actually, equality is one thing, but in March, which was Women's History Month, and we also celebrated Women's uh, International Women's Day, the theme was embrace equity. And, equity really is about being met where you're at so that you have a fair shot at achieving the things that you need to achieve. I want to jump into something else where we're talking about the stereotype that exists, the fact that sometimes the world will tell us you are that girl, not in the kind of way where it's affirming, but in the way that kind of puts you down. Let's talk about some of the truths from God's word that debunks that kind of thinking.
Of course. So one that comes to mind is the Proverbs 31 woman.
Mhm.
When we see her, we see that not only is she a woman of faith, that she's a woman, in her household, but she's also a leader. And she's an
Yeah.
entrepreneur that, when times get hard, she does what she needs to do in order to help provide for her family. And when people think of a Proverbs 31 woman, they think of many things, but most of them are, you want to be a woman who is centered with her household, making sure she's taking care of her kids, and, cleaning up around the house, doing all these things. And that's even men posted on social media. I want a woman who's a Power 31 woman, not really knowing, well, you want a
Yeah.
leader, you want an
Right.
entrepreneur in this household. You want someone who is not just dependent on you to provide, but she also wants her space in a career as well.
Yeah, that's great, Robin. Love that point. Sometimes we think about, as you said, we think about all the other things that make the woman just being the things that are only impactful to home and spouse. But there's space for her in the world for her to share her savvy, her business savvy. And I love that you mentioned that point. Another point that we spoke about as we actually prepared to have this conversation was taking us back into Genesis. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So, of course, God created women to reproduce, right? So we're women who are supposed to recreate, but that's just one aspect of it. God also gave us dominion on the earth too. And so we have to walk in that dominion. And I know that, of course, Adam was there, but he needed Eve.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't look at that he wasn't just here on the earth by himself. And God was like, no, you're good. You're just good by yourself. God knew that he needed a companion. And so we as women are called to leadership. We're called to dominion on this earth just as much as men are.
That's so right. And that's such a key thing. The Bible kicks off with such an affirming statement about women and women's place and their ability as well. God is a supporter of women, right? He's right there saying, yes, give women their fair shot, let them have dominion, and that's an important thing for us to make note of. There are things that are built in within us that makes us worthy outside of our achievements or in between our achievements, and that's the essence of what I want women to take away from this conversation that we're having about our theme, I'm That Girl. And so, Robin, these 2 points that you mentioned are key. And I hope that you ladies watching take that away and remember that every single time. Now, we're getting ready to wrap up. And my final question to you, Robin, is what makes you that girl?
Oh my goodness. So there's so many things I can say, number one, because I would love to say that I'm a very accomplished woman. I'm that girl because I'm creative, I'm talented, multifaceted. I definitely, when I think of I'm that girl, me personally, I love to say that I'm enough. And I think that encompasses so much, especially in this day and time where women feel like, I have to be like the woman in the movies or someone else, but I'm confident in who I am. I'm that girl because I'm not who I used to be. That's enough for me. I also love to think about just where I am in my career right now. I'm growing, I'm developing. So I'm that girl because I'm going for that position. I'm going for that next level, and I'm not staying stagnant or being where other people think I should be or where some men believe that women should be, that I'm actually going further in my life to be successful in the areas in which I am, talented and called to be in. Those spaces that I'm called to be in that sometimes men don't think women should be in. I'm going for it.
Love it. I love that defiance that's in you. I love that you're just this go-getter. And one thing that stood out for me from what you just said about your definition of what it means to be that girl is that being that girl is not a position, it's a journey. Right. And here we are, Journeys by Good Girl. It's perfect. All right, Robin, thank you so much for spending some time with me to talk about our theme, I'm That Girl. I hope you all that are watching took something away from this. I think Robin dropped some really great gems in our conversation, and I hope that it's a blessing to you all. Take care.
Thank you.